Okay, so in this section, we're going to work on our wrist mobility. Okay, we're going to do some flexion and extension and some finger lifting. Okay, so we're going to start from the hands and knees position, and you can just go here. Right now, I'm sitting back a little bit because when I go to the flex position, it puts a lot of pressure on the wrist. Okay, so for some people, it may be really easy to just come to this position and just drop all your weight on it. Okay, I can do this. For some people, it may be a little bit uncomfortable. So you need to find where it's going to be most comfortable for you. Okay, so if just going into this position right here is uncomfortable, you might want to like maybe lean a little bit forward so you have a little bit less tension on the wrist as you're in that flex position. If you sit back a little bit more, it may put a little bit more because you're bringing your arms back more. Okay, so I'm going to start off just with my hands in the extension right now. My wrists are extension. Okay, and I'm going to one at a time. I'm going to turn back, and I want to keep my hand opened, okay? So I want to open my hand, and then I'm going to rotate my opposite hand. So from here, all I'm going to do, I'm going to hold this position for about 5 seconds, and then I'm going to rotate, making sure that my arms stay straight. Then I'm going to rotate forward. Then I'm going to rotate my opposite hand forward, okay? And I'm going to try and keep my arms as straight as I can. As you can see, that's not perfectly straight. My left is bent a little bit more than my right. And I'm going to keep my fingertips spread out nice and wide. And I'm going to keep this position for about 5 seconds. And you can adjust by leaning back a little bit. It'll put a little bit less tension on it. We're leaning forward, we'll put a little bit more tension on it, okay? Okay, then I'm going to rotate again. And I'm going to rotate back, and I'm going to hold that for about 5 seconds. And I'm going to come up, shake out my wrist for a second. Okay, and now I'm going to go into extension. So for the flexion part of it, all I'm doing is I'm putting pressure on my wrists, and I'm just rotating my shoulders. Okay, internally and externally rotating. Okay, so now I'm going to go to extension. Okay, so extension, I'm just going onto my hands and knees. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I want my arms straight, and I'm turning my elbows forward to keep everything nice and straight. Okay, and from here, I'm going to start off, I'm going to rotate in. Okay, straight, make sure my arm is nice and straight. I'm going to rotate in, make sure my arm is nice and straight. Give it 5 seconds. Rotate back out. Rotate back out. Give that 5 seconds. Okay, now here's where it's going to get a little bit difficult, okay? I want to start individually raising my fingers and raising them together and just doing different combinations of finger raises, okay? So we're going to start off from this position. I want to try and just raise my thumbs and keep my fingers pressed down. So I want my hands spread out, okay? I want to spread out my fingers as far as I can, okay? And I want my elbows turned forward, okay? So right now I'm not trying to grip the floor really, really hard, but I am trying to get a good grip on the floor, okay? Keeping my hands nice and straight. I'm not trying to squeeze my fingertips in or anything. I just want my fingers spread out and I want pressure on the floor. From here, I'm going to try and raise my thumbs. 5 seconds. Then I'm going to put my thumbs down. Now I'm going to try and raise my pointer finger. Trying to keep my arms as straight as I can for 5 seconds. And I'm going to drop that down. Now I'm going to try and raise my middle finger while everything else is pressing down. Now I'm going to drop that down. Next is a ring finger, which is the hardest one for me. You see this arm bent immediately when I try to do that. Okay. Then I'm going to drop that down. Then I'm going to raise my pinky. Then I'm going to drop that down. Okay. So what my goal here is to keep my elbows as straight as possible and turn out as much as possible. So I want elbow straight, rotating my elbows forward. Okay. So it's an external rotation I'm doing right here, okay? And from that position, I want to try to grip the floor and individually raise all my fingers, okay? So now we're going to go the opposite. From that exact same position, now I want to try and raise up all my fingers, okay? Keeping my arms as straight as I can. As you can see, I bent a bit. I want to raise all my fingers up. Now I want to press my thumbs down while the rest of my fingers stay up. Intentionally pressing as hard as I can with my thumb into the mat for 5 seconds. Then I'm going to come up with it. Then I'm going to press my pointer finger, I'm coming up with it, middle finger, up, ring finger, up, pinky, up, back to my original extended position, 5 seconds, and I'm gonna come out of it. So this one's gonna be a little bit difficult, and you're gonna have to work out to it. The tendency is gonna be, as you saw when I did certain exercises, my elbow started to bend. What you wanna do is intentionally try and keep pushing those elbows straight and have intention when you're raising, okay? So I'm not just trying to like raise my finger and leave it there. I'm trying to raise my finger as high as I can the entire time. And as you can see in the video, my fingers didn't move a lot, but the intention was there through the entire thing. And I want to go through that a couple times, okay? Holding for 5 seconds in each position, okay? And that's that's you're working on the mobility of your wrist, and you're gonna feel a lot in your forearms when you do that one, okay?